Evening, Gas heads. Welcome back to the Talking Gas podcast. Welcome back to episode 8 already. So we've already been going a few months into this. So yeah, appreciate all the continued support as always. Really do appreciate it. Yeah, we're going to be getting into it. Getting into loads of stuff. Obviously, going over the Reading game. Obviously, we're going to be going over the thoughts. We've had. Still talking about the new. Who's going to be the new manager, see if, everyone's changed their thoughts and, what's going on. And yeah, obviously we're going to be getting into around 8:30. We will have Liam Denwood on, who's a Carlisle fan. His channel is Blue Army TV. So make sure you go and subscribe to him after, he'll be coming on later. So we get more of an in-depth thoughts on, their season so far, their manager, their form, etc. What's going on since obviously they got the promotion last season. But as always, do hit the like button. Can we get over 40 likes again? That would be class. Do subscribe if you're new. Make sure you have notifications turned on as well. Always live on a Thursday when we've got the Saturday game. If we have got a Tuesday game, then we go live on a Sunday. So yeah, that's basically it. We've already got Gas supporter BRC Tom and Wayne Clark in as well. So yeah, evening to you. And yeah, if you've got any questions about anything, get your thoughts in the comments. We always go over everyone's, questions and opinions. Do go and give us a follow as well on socials, Talking Gas Pod on Twitter and Talking Gas Podcast on Instagram. So yeah, we're always very on there a lot, posting stuff. So go and check that out. But yeah, as always, joined by Neil. Obviously, you went to Reading. How you been since then? All good?
Yeah, mate, I'm all right. I get over it pretty quick. I don't dwell on it too much. I mean, Rovers results will be what they are, and I'll just get on with life at the end of it. But it wasn't a great watch, was it?
Nah, not the best. Not the best, to be honest. But even into Tom Butler as well. But yeah, we'll quickly get obviously straight into it like we always do. Quite a lot of changes, obviously, especially from the FA Cup game, because we made a lot of rotation for that. But yeah, if you go on. Obviously, the last league game, Wilson was finally back. I think that was his first game in, I want to say 2 months, maybe even longer. I can't even remember when his last game was. For some mad reason, Vale was rested in the cup, but then didn't play in the league. Martin stayed there, obviously continuing in his good form. Woods was back. I think a lot of people was maybe surprised when they seen him come back after his 3-game suspension, straight back in the team. Evans, who I thought was injured, but I didn't realize he picked up his 5th yellow card in the cup. So that means, he was obviously suspended. So quite a few changes, sticking with the 4-4-2. Neil, what did you make of it? What did you make of the team when it come out? Was obviously, I know most of the time you're saying, it don't really matter what team we put out, but yeah, what did you make of it? And what did you make of the way we played in the first half?
I was, again, I looked at it and I thought there's a side there that was plenty good enough to go and do a job, to be honest. It was sloppy, it was pretty pedestrian. It looked like we were just sort of ambled about in second gear. And I think we the best way to describe it is we look like exactly what we are at the minute. We are a side which is in limbo and crying out for a bit of direction. Them players desperately need to know what the future holds, because they look like a side that didn't know whether to stick or twist. They didn't really. That's what I mean. We just look like a side that's in limbo at the minute, and that's exactly what we are. We got an assistant holding the reins. He doesn't know when his last day is. Them lads don't know when their last training session is with him. They don't know how far this is going to go, how long it's going to go on for. We're just in limbo, and that sort of performance is exactly what that situation looked like to me. We're just crying out. That side and those players are crying out for a bit of direction, someone to get hold of that and state, this is how we're going to attack it. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to play, and these are parameters now, and this is what you work to. Like, Joey's gone. That's the past. Then players are going to be bitterly disappointed because they're all ears. But now it's about quickly finding out who this new bloke is, what his ideas are, who he's having, who he's not having, and running with it. Because, like I said, that's a side in limbo at the minute, not really knowing what they're about and what the next day brings. As far as performances goes, Woods looked like a bloke who hadn't played for three games. You know what I mean? He looked miles off it. He always looks awkward to me. Just his running style looks awkward to me. He just looks like he's in pain whenever he plays. But
yeah,
as far as an overall performance of what he did on Tuesday, it wasn't good. And I think he'd say that himself. You know what I mean? He was miles off it. I think Finley gets unnecessary stick. He tries to do the right things all the time. He always tries to do the right things, and sometimes he doesn't get the available support around him to be able to do the things that he's looking to do. But everything up until sort of the changes for me was all a bit scrappy. There was no real composure to anything we did. It was all 100 mile an hour unnecessarily, bouncing off the stuff. Like I said, it was just really uncomposed, scrappy and sloppy. The subs were needed, injected a bit of life into us. And then when the goal went in, I said to my mate, I said, crying out for Macca. If we had Macca now, we go and win this game. Just crying out for enthusiastic front running, late runs into the box, full of energy, taking players away from other players with his intelligent running. And that's where we are at the minute. We haven't got our full quota to be able to go and turn that game on its head when we got to 1-1.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, we got back in it at 1-1, and then it just sort of petered out into nothing. I know we like sort of upped and puffed, but we didn't do anything with real quality. There's stuff like, we're getting into good areas and we're not beating the man at the front post, and stuff like that. We're not giving ourselves the best opportunity to get that winner.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, one question to you is: were you as surprised as me to see Harvey Vale not starting after he'd done well in the last league game and had good impact the other day?
We don't know the full story, do we? We're not at the quarters looking at what goes on. There could be something there with Harvey that says, you know what, minutes are only going to allow him and to play a certain amount of games. Or Mang's gone, I really want him for Saturday at Carlisle, so I can't give him an hour, or I can't give him 90 Tuesday. Do you know what I mean? You can't look at a game and isolate it game by game, because else you play the same players every single week, Saturday, Tuesday. Don't work like that. Football don't work like that. And medical teams and physios have a big say in who starts that game. And if you're looking at a block of games and saying, I'm earmarking that player for that game, and that game, it means that, I can only give you an hour here, or I've got to put you on the bench to drip feed you in for minutes here. It all depends on what the thought process is on the bigger picture. Let's not get away from the fact that Aaron Collins can still do a job out there. Is he better through the middle? 100%. But is he plenty capable of doing a job out there? Yeah. Did he play? Did he have a bad game? Not really. Didn't execute everything brilliantly. But while
that's the
he's
same as a lot of players though that played.
While he's out there, I'm not a stats man. I don't pay much attention to stats a lot. I've got eyes. I know what I'm looking at. He's our biggest threat. He's always our biggest threat. So I didn't have a problem with being out there. Is he better through the middle? For me, yeah. But when I see him out there, I still think he can create opportunities and he can be a real impact for us.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, even in Fallen Blue, wouldn't want to view with the fireworks. No, definitely not. I was close to it, but yeah, I don't know. Some people are just mad. Big up to Alex as well. Appreciate the support. Even into Owen Collins, Geordie Gas. Love to see it. Appreciate you tuning in. Even into Patrick Wells as well. Yeah, like I said before, if you've got any questions or anything, do drop them down below. But yeah, I sort of agree. First half was we started fairly well in the first 10, 15. Had that chance where one of the real good bits of play we've seen in that first half was where Thomas give it to Giovanni, done a great turn through to Collins. If Collins would have looked up, Martin was calling for it. He didn't pass, would have been a tap in, but fair enough, he had a shot, but I still think he should have passed. I know he obviously wants more goals, but it was a bang on goal if he'd have passed it across. But then after that, like you said, it was really sloppy, too slow. Reading were playing a high line as well, and we didn't exploit that. We didn't exploit that at all. Usually teams are there, sitting back and but Reading actually played a high line, but there was, Giovanni Brown wouldn't really run in behind. To be fair, I thought their left back done well on Luke Thomas, to be fair. Whenever he tried to get involved, especially in the first half, he sort of muscled him out. Like you said, Collins, it's so frustrating to see him there, especially in a left mid position where it's even further back than a winger, like if we were playing 4-3-3. So yeah, too slow, too sloppy, so frustrating. Obviously, boos from pretty much everyone at halftime. Then we come out. What did you make of the, really, you talked about it. Apart from where we scored, and the sort of 10 minutes after, there wasn't really much. At the end, it was almost like we weren't even going for the win. I don't know if it was tactically or not, but it looked very, it was so frustrating at the end. We would in parts going for it, but then obviously you've got to be careful when. But yeah, Harvey Vell, changed the game, had the nutmeg, great ball to Martin. Martin, who fed off for scraps in the first half, the only real chance he had, great finish again. Great to see him get another goal, 3 goals in 3 league games. But yeah, overall, we talked about a minute ago before we went live, felt like a loss for me. It was so frustrating. We talked about it, before both of us. Oh, hopefully it won't happen again. Another performance where we go away, loads of fans, and it's just, it's frustrating, but it is what it is. But yeah, amazing to see Nick as well, there, and with the, come out with the fans, in the dugout, which is amazing to see as well. But yeah, overall as a game, really frustrating. I want to get your thoughts. We talked about it briefly before we went live. What did you make of the formation? Obviously playing 4-4-2 or 4-2-4, whatever, as it differs during the game. What do you make of that?
I think you've got to be careful with how you set up with that, because obviously what you are with the ball and what you are without is worlds apart. Like when we've got the ball, sometimes we can be really isolated in the middle with just 2 there, with our wide men bombing on, with basically 4 high up the pitch, and you've got that arc of your back 4, sat behind those 2, that double screen. But if you're smart and you're savvy enough to be able to win that ball low and break, like I said about distances, we're miles off, like sort of thing. There's 20 yards between us. And if you can break on that, then you're really susceptible and you're really vulnerable. I don't mind the system. I just think we can play it better. I just think we can play it far better than what we do. If we were playing a top 8 side, what you deem to be a top 8 side in League One on Tuesday night, we get pumped. We get pumped playing that way. So we've come away with a point, which ain't the end of the world, playing pretty abject, to be honest. If you look at the talk after the game from Reading side of it, they think they could and should have won it as well. So, that tells you how like open a game it was, and it was sort of, flip a coin who could have won it. So if you're looking at the League One as a whole and where we're at, if we're playing, like I said, if we're playing probably a top half, definitely top 8 side, we're getting pumped Tuesday night if we play that way in that system.
Yeah. Well, like you said, with them, like every time Reading went forward, they looked like they were going to do something really. And yeah, obviously they got the goal. Obviously, there's a lot of talk on Cox at the moment. To be honest with you, looking at him on Saturday, he looks injured. He had this strapping on him against Whitby, and he went down in the second half. He looks injured to me. He's overall for me, he's been really good. I know a lot of people were going mad, and that's fair enough. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I think he does look a bit injured, and since I would say the Burton game, his kicking hasn't been the same. So, like, what do you make on that situation? Do you think it's an injury, or do you think he's just struggling with a bit of confidence since the Burton game? What's your thoughts on that? Because he doesn't look the same.
Whenever I look at him, I don't think he struggles for confidence one bit. He's more than happy to have it and play straight lines out of his box, ping 30. He doesn't stop trying to do. If he was abject to confidence, he wouldn't keep trying the things he's doing. Granted, he's not executing them as well as he could do, but that doesn't mean he ain't confident, because he's constantly still going back to the process of trying to do what he's been asked to do and what he believes he can do. I don't really have a problem with him, to be honest. If
I'm the same.
He's 20 years of age. He's not going to be the finished article. He's here to learn, and learning is what he's doing. He's learning on the job. Do you know what I mean? He's going to make more errors than he has done already through the season. But I don't look at him and think he's a weak link. I just don't look at him and think he's a weak link to our side.
No.
He's when he's 28, you'll know how good he is. You know what I mean? When he's not even grown into his body yet, so he's not going to look as big as he could do. He ain't going to look as commanding as he could do. But is he a perfectly fine goalkeeper to play in League One that is going to get better? Well, I believe so. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And sort of the way that we've recruited under Joey, that he's doing what he wanted his goalkeeper to do.
Yeah. I agree.
Again, I'm not a stats man. I don't look at stats, don't pay no attention to him. But I expect if you looked at him, they probably ain't too bad.
I agree. Yeah, I was just getting your thoughts, because a lot of, even people that I've seen at halftime and even coming out of the ground and on socials. I think some of his passes, especially against Reading, weren't the best, but that's the way we play. There's always going to be, there's always going to be
executing them balls all the time. He wouldn't be playing for us. He'd be playing somewhere else, loads higher. I mean, he's here to learn. He's learning on the job. He's going to be, if he's at 60% now, by the end of the season, you'd think it's 80, 85%. I mean, he's going to keep learning, keep understanding, keep getting better. If he has got a knock and he is carrying a bit, that ain't nothing unusual to any footballer. There ain't no footballer that goes on that pitch at 100%. None of them do. They're always playing with strap-ins, injections, numbings, anything. No one goes on that pitch 100%.
I agree. Patrick Wells saying, if nothing else, Tuesday showed us we cannot stick with Mangan long term. Good lad, but need a new vision. And a Carlisle fan also saying, we're looking forward for your team coming to Brunton Park. We've always had a good relationship with Rovers, and Nick Anderson coming is brilliant. I've seen that he's coming back as well, which is really good. I mean, to be fair, you're probably saying you look forward for us coming, because you usually beat us at Brunton Park. I think we're four games without a win there. I know we've definitely lost our last two there. So hopefully, we can get back on track on Saturday, and fingers crossed we'll see what happens. Even to Simon Bracey as well. Hopefully, first thing new manager does is send Woods back to Hull. Cost us points in the last two league games, and sadly just not up to it. Bloke can't even run. Get Bogard and Evans back in the next game. Bookie's just saying Carl Robinson is favourite. I mean, we'll actually get onto that. We've pretty much talked about Reading. Our thoughts on that. Like, to give it an overview, didn't play well, but we didn't lose. We got a point. It's crazy. You think about it. We haven't been we haven't gone on a 3 or 4 game winning runs. We've got one win in our last 5 in the league. I know we're 4 unbeaten in all comps, drawing 2 in the league against Reading and Stevenage, and beating Northampton in the league and Whitby in the cup. But only 6 points off the playoffs, which is mad, really. So if we can go on that run, and we can, whoever comes in can get us consistently winning, and and it's just really cutting out the mistakes, because I don't think teams, we've seen it even for a lot of the season, teams aren't really peppering us with loads of chances. It's just individual mistakes, like for their goal, Grant and Woods, I don't know what, Grant give him a loose ball back, and then Woods just, too. So like you said, you could tell that he was coming back from, without playing 3 games. And Tom's saying Woods was great a few games ago. He's a championship player on loan. We're lucky to have him. I think you just, people will make mistakes, no matter, who you are. But I sort of agree with you. I think he is a good player. He just needs to get back on track, to be honest. But Simon definitely doesn't agree. Kieran West saying, bring Carl Robinson, got an experience of the playoffs and get promoted. Joey's Cap as well. Appreciate you tuning in, Joey's Cap. Carl Robinson has watched all my 10 plus stories on Instagram since lunchtime. So there goes my earlier thinking. Yeah, I mean, what do you make of this? Like, do you think it's going to be Robinson? Like, I know we talked about it loads, since obviously the Barton sacking. We talked about it even last stream. Has any of your thoughts changed on the manager position, or who's been linked, or Carl Robinson? I know we talked about it loads, and obviously everyone let us know, keep knowing your thoughts as well, and keep hitting the like. There's nearly 40 of you in here, so do hit the like button, subscribe if you're new as well, and yeah, get your thoughts. But yeah, what do you make of it? Still, it's been 2 weeks since Barton got the sack. 2 weeks. There's been loads of interviews. Yeah, what do you make of the situation now? Do you think it's going to be Carl Robinson? What do you make of it?
The biggest thing for that is clearly getting rid of Joe was clearly the only plan they had. It was then basically, right, let's start getting candidates in place to see who can take this job, rather than earmarking someone they believe that they could tap up prior to getting rid of Joe, which I'd have thought would have been, granted, it ain't the beautiful way to go about it, but it's a necessary way to go about it. What they've done is just sacked him and then reacted, and then we're 2 weeks down the line, and the players have suffered from it, to be honest. You will do. When there's a changeover like that in a football club, and that whole squad is built by one man who's now been thrown out the door, then players will be pretty disillusioned now and not knowing what their future holds. So that probably did contribute to what you saw Tuesday night. It has to get done it has to get done, next week. Has to. Can't let this rumble on, into another Saturday and like let Mang suffer, not knowing, him and Wheeler not knowing, this is my last day. Is this my last day? It's just because that's what we're doing with them players and them and that management team and that whole staff are living day by day now. Ain't right. It ain't healthy, and it needs to get nipped in the bud. For me, looking at Tuesday, it was another one where I look at it and go, Christ, if Warnock could get hold of this side, I just know that how tight this division is, he could start turning them draws into wins, and he could get us a bit more solidified. And he just knows, he's got know-how, he knows how to do it, you know what I mean? But again, that's me looking at a short-term fix, because once you get to the summer, you've got to go down the process all over again. Although there might be a bigger pools of managers to look at in the summer, they get a full pre-season, get to recruit and all the rest of it. But yeah, my gut feeling now is that it's probably going to go to Robbo. And after speaking to, I know a lot of people in and around Oxford and their thoughts on it, and they think he'd be a great fit. Mm-hmm. They do. They think he'd come and do well, to be honest. Like I said, he's had his misdemeanors and he comes with a bit of baggage, etc. But forget that. Can he do a job? And I think he can.
Mm-hmm.
There's loads out there that I'd be a bit, I don't know, but if he got the job, I'd back him. At the minute, if someone said to me, do you know what, you've got Robbo, I go, okay, cool, I'll take it.
Yeah. I agree. He obviously talked about when it first came out. Obviously, the news, it was Nathan Jones. Obviously, unrealistic, but why not with the fan base we got and the ownership, etc., and everything going on, with getting the stand, getting the stadium bigger, etc. And then it was Monk, but then last sort of week and a bit, it has been Robinson, looking. And the thing is with him, like, he's only I think he's 2 years older than Joey, and Carl Robinson's been managing for since he was 29. He
stopped playing at 26.
Yeah, because he went to MK, and he was the youngest manager in the EFL. Was obviously there for 6-7 years, done pretty well there, got him to the championship, and then obviously his time at Oxford overall was really, really good. I know he fell out with a few things, and obviously it went downhill last season. Obviously got sacked when they were in the relegation zone or just above it. But overall at Oxford, he's got them to the playoffs a lot, even though they haven't managed to go up. He plays good football. He's got contacts. He's been in the game a long time. He knows his stuff. I know, obviously, everyone, whoever it is, it's going to be mixed opinions. But yeah, for me, I think it will be him. And like you said, surely after the Carlisle game, they've got to make a decision, because then we've got. Because obviously the Fleetwood game now is. I'm not sure if you've seen that, or Gas probably have as well. but that's now been postponed. So now I think we've got 4 away games on the bounce now. 4 away games on the bounce. So, and with our form at the moment, we need to just get it in, get someone in. Because like you said, for a player, it must be so frustrating. You'd think, like you said, if you get rid of a manager, there's going to be someone in, but obviously not. Been 2 weeks down the line, so yeah.
You've got to understand as well. These lads live their life on 2-year deals. Do you know what I mean? As much as people talk about football as being a great lifestyle and a great career, they're on tenterhooks all the time because you know what I mean. You're not really secure. You're living in rentals. You're on 2-year deals. You don't know if you do your ACL. Actually, that could be you down another 2 divisions in your career and money going nowhere. So things like that play in your head all the time, and then you've got to boot a bloke who's come in, put all his faith in you, think, do you know what, this could really go somewhere. Then he's out the door, you're back to square one. And like I said, a lot of these lads are from the Northwest. They're a million miles away from their own comforts. So all of that plays into it. They're only human. So things like that do come into play. And I just think that's what I mean. Elements of that all came into play Tuesday. We look like a team in limbo, and that's because that's what we are.
Yeah. I completely agree, to be honest. Just going to go over a few comments, and then we're going to get Liam on as well. Also, if you haven't already, join Fan Hub. I know a lot of gas heads are on it at the moment, but the code is just going down at the bottom of the screen now. So do the code, and you'll get get a golden ticket, go through, and then you can challenge your mates to different stuff. You can win merch, checking at grounds, get merch. I got the Fan Hub gas. Fan Hub hoodie gas. So if you want, get on there. Bit left field, forward on blue, but saying about Keith Curl for a punt. I think he's past it, to be honest. Keith Curl. I know he was at Rovers, but I think he's past it. But that's a fair enough shout. Kjolgalore saying don't want Robinson bad blood with us and a sketchy history. Would prefer Gary Monk. Joey's Cap saying have a listen to Carl Robinson on Moment of Truth on BBC Sounds, a good listen and a few hair dry moments on there. They were recorded him during the season. I'll definitely have to check that out. Kjolgalore also saying manager talk aside, I think Martin is proven a shrewd signing and we should look to extend his contract. Wealth of experience and good awareness, even with the pace that comes with it. I agree. A lot of people were giving him, after Burton, loads of people were giving him so much stick. And I'm like, and me and you talked about it, Neil, with he's only just come in. He's not played like the whole season. And you look at it, what has he got? 3 goals in 7 games. Obviously, took him a while to get going. But, last 3 games, 3 brilliant goals. And he just needs better. If he got more better service, because he's only having pretty much 1 chance a game. He's not getting a lot of service.
You got to take him for what he is. He ain't someone who's going to get on the ball, turn, drive at people, step overs. No, he ain't going to run channels. He ain't going to harry fullbacks. He's a back to goal number 9 who, thankfully, in this league knows where the goal is. And if you said to me, you're going to watch Chris Martin play and you're going to think he is bang average or not at today, but he's going to come up with a goal somewhere in that game, you take it. Do you know what I mean? All I want my centre forward to do primarily is score goals. If whatever he does in the meantime looks a bit abject and he don't look great and he looks a little bit off it, if you know a goal's coming, you take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I completely agree.
I don't think he's the answer long term, right? Don't get me wrong. If someone says to me, "Oh, you keep Martin, but the Jono deal is completely gone," I'd be like, I still think we need additions.
Yeah. I agree. Like you said, he turned 35. Like I think it was a day after my birthday. So yeah, he's not young.
But even this season, even for this season, we still need additions up there.
Yeah. Definitely. Patrick Wells still hoping for Gary Monk. Tom Butler saying Chris Martin, Joey Barton was right again. Yeah. But yeah, 32 of you currently in, 34 now. Do keep hitting the like button. Any questions, get them in. We're going to be getting on to the preview now. Obviously, if you've missed anything, you can go back after if you want to watch our thoughts on what we've been talking about, manager situation, the Reading game, formation, loads of stuff. So, but yeah, thanks to everyone that's tuning in. Really do appreciate the support. But we are going to bring in Liam now from Blue Army TV. Like I said at the start, make sure you go and subscribe to his channel on the road to 900 subscribers. But yeah, Liam, really appreciate you coming on. How are you?
Thanks for having me on. Yeah, spot on today. Big up the fan hub wearing team today. You know, saw you promoting that earlier.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Up the hub. Yeah, get involved if you haven't already. Like I said, code's there. But yeah, obviously, Carlisle, obviously, again, I did congratulate you early on in, I think, pre-season. But again, congrats on promotion. I bet you're, buzzing after, obviously, last season. It's been a mad journey, hasn't it, Carlisle, in the past, especially since the League Two, our League Two promotion season, because obviously when we went to your place, obviously on that amazing run, I think Carlisle and Oldham away were the only 2 games we'd lost. And obviously it was, very frustrating. But Paul Simpson, I think, had only been in charge a few games. But since then, he's you were at the time you were really struggling. But since then, he's got you playing well, got you promoted. I mean, what's been your thoughts on your start to the season?
Yeah, look, to be honest, I'm so glad just to be in League One, and I think that's kind of the sentiment all Carlisle fans have at the minute. It's the fact that with the budget we've got and the board that we've got, we probably shouldn't be here, so we're just going to kind of enjoy it. And I think as well, the whole reason we're here is Paul Simpson, and despite us having and you asked me my thoughts on this season so far, it hasn't been great. We're not bottom like some channels predicted us to be, but we're still in with a fighting chance of staying up, and I think that's all down to Paul Simpson. And I think it's very rare for a team in the relegation zone to be so behind their manager. Like, there's been a lot of sackings, and your club included this season already, and I think we could go down 3 divisions and Paul Simpson's job still wouldn't be in jeopardy. And I think, to be honest, with this season, I think that is going to help us, because look, Joey Barton, I probably wouldn't have sacked him, because I'm a big believer in keeping the manager. But yeah, look, it hasn't been a good start to the season. I think a lot of that can go down to a lot of just missed chances. I think the striking area for us, we've kind of slacked on a little bit recruitment wise, and I think the thing with Carlisle fans this season, and it's a very common belief, is that yes, the points haven't been there, but a lot of the performances have been.
Yeah, it's quite well. If you're actually looking at the league table, and like you said, it's a lot of games. Like, really, even though you might have lost a lot of games, like, you haven't really been battered by a team. It's been by either like 1 or 2 goal margins, and you've actually, even though you're in the last relegation place in 21st, you've actually conceded less goals than us. So it's not, you haven't been getting like we've had, one batter in this season, which was our second to last away game, which was Burton, which, funny enough, after that amazing run, you go and beat them the game after they batter us. So yeah, it's like you said, it's and really, like you said, you've been in games a lot. I think you're level on points with Northampton, and even though you've won 3, out of 16, and drew 5, I think you're probably, even though obviously I haven't seen the way I haven't actually obviously watched your games. I've seen highlights and seen different comments from various channels and podcasts, but yeah, it looks like you said, you're backing the manager. Obviously, one of the questions from Neil was going to be about Paul Simpson. Like, you've gone over him a little bit, but like you said, he's just massive, isn't he? Massive to Carlisle, really. And like you said, he's done so well, because I said previously, a minute ago, that season in the League Two, you were really struggling, and he come in, got you safe pretty comfortably, and then he's gone on to get you promoted to League One for the first time in quite a number of years. So just again, what's your thoughts on him? Your fans' thoughts on him? As a manager.
Well, you say the first promotion in a long, long time, and that is right. The last time we got promoted before last season was back in 2005, which we were managed by Paul Simpson back then as well. So Paul Simpson is seen as somewhat of a god up in Carlisle. and rightfully so. I mean, look, in my lifetime, the only success we've ever had has been under him. And that, back in 2005, I was too young to remember that. But, that was also a bit of an underdog story back then. Paul Simpson got us back-to-back promoted from the National League back then. He then left the club to go on to manage Preston. And all these years later, he's come back as the hero to rescue us. And look, myself included, a lot of Carlisle fans had accepted relegation before he came in when we were being managed by Keith Millen that season. And look, we were so dire, like really dire. And it really looked like there was no hope for us at one point. And I think we were cut adrift a little bit at one point. And Paul Simpson comes in, he gets us, he keeps us up comfortably. And then the most impressive part about it is the promotion the next season was done with the vast majority of them players being the players that had us in the relegation zone the season prior. So he honestly, he has worked miracles. And to Carlisle fans, and that's why we back him so much, is no problem can be blamed on Paul Simpson. And I think it does kind of help that in the running of the club, because players don't have much power in decisions. Or like you hear so much about players getting the manager sacked a lot, especially higher up in the divisions. But
yeah,
we're in a point now where we will blame every single one of the players before we even think about putting any amount of blame on Paul Simpson. So to have him held in such high regard, I think that much backing and that much support from the fans has been a big part of his success. And my God, he hasn't half earned it, because, why he doesn't have a statue already, I'll never know. And the fact that he is from Carlisle helps massively as well. So, and look, you asked me the thoughts on the fans' thoughts on Paul Simpson, and I'll answer it by saying I think he's probably the most loved manager in English football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because like you said, I didn't. I didn't actually realise that he was manager of you before, and he'd got you back-to-back promotions within out the National League and back up again. So yeah, that's pretty mad. Obviously, I knew he had a very, very well thought of in football. Really, what he's done with, I think he was with England. I know he was he was working at Bristol City, I think, before he went to you as well.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing that happened there is that he got some kind of cancer, and that sort of led to him temporarily retiring. And then he made this sort of incredible comeback story, and became, his first job back in football was to retake the Carlisle managerial position, and you talk about in England as well. He won the World Cup there with the under-21s or whatever age group it was. So, he is even outside of us well thought of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he sounds like a very, very good manager. And yeah, I remember because that season when you got him back in, we were on fire. You were struggling, then you go and beat us. But we'll get into it. Our record at Carlisle, I'm pretty sure it's the last 4 times we've gone there. You've beaten us. I've been there the last 2. Hopefully, it's third time lucky for me. I'll be making the 12-hour round trip along with. To be fair, we sold quite a lot of tickets considering we're not doing well, and I think we sold 500 plus pound a day. So it should be probably close to 600, which is quality from, 12-hour round trip, leaving at 6:30 Saturday morning. That's going to be a fun journey, but hopefully it's worth it.
I think people do it just for the novelty of it, Like people see Carlisle as this far away place. I think people we always get good supports coming up here because I think people take pride in doing, the trip, because it's notorious as being one of the longest trips you can do.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, obviously looking, we've looked at you in the league table 21st. You're only 6 points behind us. You've played one more game than us. We've lost. Our season sums up there when you look at it: 1-5, drew 5, lost 5. Inconsistencies, obviously. We talked earlier. We're 4 unbeaten in all comps, but we've only got 1 win in our last 5. And if we actually look, I've actually got it saved on here as well. If we look at the last 5, games, you've actually got 1 more point than us. Obviously, you lost to Leyton Orient in your last game, which was the cup, but this is only based on league form. So you obviously lost to Cambridge away where you had a man sent off. Beat Burton, like we said earlier, the game after they battered us, you beat them 2-1 at home. Then you narrowly lost to Portsmouth away at Fratton 1-0, lost 1-0 to Orient, and then that mad game where you took 5,000 fans or 4,500 to Bolton. Yeah, and you beat them 3-1. So you've actually got one more point. We've only got one win, like I said, drew to Reading, beat Northampton, drew to Stevenage, battered at Burton, and lost 2-1 to Oxford. And, if we're getting on to home form and away form, we're pretty similar again. You've actually got one more point better off at home than we've got. You've got 2 wins in 9 points. And if you look at our away form, we've only got 2 wins in 8, haven't won in our last 4 away from home. It's going to be interesting when we do obviously we'll do the predictions later on and stuff. But yeah, it's especially after Reading, I'm not feeling, as buzzed or as confident as I usually would be, especially after Reading. Even later on, I'll probably still say we'll win. Knowing me, but yeah, it doesn't, especially our away form or records that at your ground, but their records are there to be broken. So hopefully, we can get something or get back to winning ways, I hope. But yeah, Neil, have you got any other questions to ask as well?
Yeah, I think just talking about Simpson there, I think you're probably right. I can't think of anyone who would dislike him in football if you look at him as a character. Do you know what I mean? Why would you? Do you know what I mean? I think you've got people in the game like, Joey, Steve Evans, John Brady. Yeah, love you, John. But you've got people like that, and like they're pretty divisive, as characters. Forget what they're like at their job, but they're pretty divisive as characters. But Simpson, I can't imagine whoever he inherits, who he lets go, who he sort of recruits, would have a bad word to say against him. He just looks like someone that you'd want to go to work for. So that's probably beneficial to Carlisle now where they've done. Just on the promotion and how you've looked to play coming into League One, are you still looking to obviously make Brunton Park where you're going to pick up your points, make it as difficult as you can for sides in this league, and go direct and play off of sort of Edmondson to get yourself up the pitch quickly, or have you sort of altered the way you're playing, or have you adapted to League One better than you thought you would do?
We started off trying to do what we did in League Two, and we have had to change it. You speak about Edmondson now. I don't think he's played for a long time now. I think he's going to be one of the ones that looks to leave in January. We've actually turned to Joe Garner a lot more than I thought we would have, because look, he was one that couldn't get into the team last season when we were in League Two, and he's now our star striker. I say star very loosely. I think he's got 3 goals, but he's our starter at the very least. But yeah, we've changed from almost this 5-3-2 we played last season to more of a 4-3-3, change to a 4-4-2, whatever he decides to do up front, because you've got players like Jordan Gibson, who during games are quite versatile, where 1 minute he'll be playing in the midfield, 1 minute he'll be playing in the attack on the wing or something like that. But we've definitely changed the way we've gone about it sort of halfway through this season. We started with the back 5 system. We've it was kind of forced by the loss of our captain, Paul Huntington, when he got injured. So we couldn't play that back 5 system anymore, and we've gone to a back 4. We seem to have stuck with the back 4, even though Huntington's coming back now. Because look, like you said earlier about the defensive record is a similar one to you guys. The defence hasn't been our problem, and I think even going to this back 4, it has helped us a lot. And our most recent wins over Bolton and over Burton, which 2 of the high points of this season, they've both been under this new 4-3-3/4-4-2 system. And the way we adapted, I think, look, the table doesn't lie. We're at the bottom end for a reason, but I don't think that's due to we're not getting outplayed by teams. We just can't finish our chances. So overall, I'm quite happy with how the teams adapted to playing in this division. but I think the the crucialness, the sort of that last bit of cutting edge, that last bit of quality that comes with being in League One, I think that they're going to have to step it up a little bit, or there'll be reinforcements brought in January.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, like you said, it's pretty magnetic. Joe Garner must be what, 35, 36 now. So yeah, because I remember looking at your results last season, because I did want Carlisle to come up as well. Like you said, just because of the trip, and you can take even though I've been there twice, I'll still go there again. But like you said, Garner and like Gibson's probably been one of your better players, hasn't he? I think he's got 5 or 6 goals.
Yes.
And he's not a striker. He's like a midfielder, but he can play, like you said, he's very versatile.
Yeah,
so
he's been moved to the wing in this run of form where he's been scoring a lot of goals. It's when he's been moved out wide onto, weirdly, the left wing, because last season when he was deployed on the wing, it would be on the right, and he's a right-footed player. So, I don't know why they put him on the left wing, but it has worked. It has been since they put him as more of an attacker.
Yeah, that's it. That's interesting. Yeah, because I remember it, because it always goes mad with. I remember watching last season a few vlogs of Bradford against Carlisle, and because you've had loads of ex players and a lot of players that didn't do too well at Bradford, but they've come to you and they've scored. And I remember Gibson being one of them. So would you say like Gibson's probably one of your better players? Like and if so, what other players do we have to look out for? And is there any injury news as well? Because I'm seeing earlier on Twitter, I think one of your better players, key players in midfield, is injured. Is that right?
Yeah, I'd argue our 2 best players this season have been Jordan Gibson, as you said, and look, he will be one that you'll have to look out for. He'll probably be the man that you look to man mark the most. But other than that, I'd say our best players being Callum Guy, and some absolutely heartbreaking news this morning that he's going to be out for 9 to 10 months with a ACL injury. And look, that is a huge loss, because he isn't always man of the match every week, but he's one of the most reliable players we've got. He always comes in, he always sits in that defensive midfield role. He always does a really good job. He's one of the fan favourites. He scored that brilliant goal in the playoff semi-final against Bradford. He is also an ex-Bradford player, I'm pretty sure, as well. So, but yeah, that's such bad injury news. And in all fairness, Dylan McGeoch, who we've signed in a very similar position, has just come back from an injury. So I feel like he'll probably play against Uslot on Saturday. And he's a bit of an unknown quantity, to be honest, because he hasn't played in the league this season, I don't think. So he could be one to watch out for. He was player of the season for Forest Green last season. But yeah, look, he'll be coming back in, but it's very difficult to replace Callum Guy, who's one of our longest serving players, one of our best players. And, to not have him for the rest of this season is going to be a massive, massive blow.
Yeah, definitely. He's, like you said, he's a quality player. I remember him because he was at Derby. He come through at Derby. He's been at Blackpool as well. And I think there's a few. I think Mellish is another one. I think whenever I've seen him play, he's a pretty good player. And like you said, Gibson is mainly the one to watch. Obviously Garner, if you give him a chance, he'll more than likely score. He's had a great career in higher end, championship. So it's definitely going to be. Yeah, very interesting game. I mean, Neil, what's your thoughts going into this game? Another team where we usually struggle against the teams that are. I mean, saying that this season we've obviously we've lost to like you said, Burton. We've lost to Cambridge, and usually the teams that we struggle against are the teams that are lower than us in the table. Like, what do you make of it going in, especially our away form? Can we get back to winning ways? What do you make of going into the game?
I think it'd be tough, real tough, for a number of reasons, like what we've got going on at our place ourselves, and what we spoke about as far as being in limbo and like the mentality of the place at the minute. spoke about Carlisle and the journey and how notoriously difficult it is. Same as, Plymouth use it to their advantage as well, going the other way. I think it'd be tough. History shows it's difficult for us. If you was to say to me that we're going to go and get a positive result, and going to go and win at Carlisle, I'd be really reluctant to, believe you, to be honest. And my gut feeling going into it is probably that I think a point would be a good result. Where we're at the minute, as far as a football club, what's going on with us at our place, and how notoriously difficult it is to get a positive result in Carlisle. I don't think a point would be as bad as it all seems at this stage of the season, where we're at, and just keep ticking on unbeaten.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair enough. It's going to be, will be tough. Like you said, the records, been there tough over the years. Not on the best of form. And yeah, hopefully, we'll see. Hopefully, we've got a few players. One thing I will say is that Finley is suspended. Finley suspended for this game after getting 5 yellows, so he'll be out. Evans will be back though. That's a massive plus for us. He's been playing really well. I think I remember in the League Two, I think that was his first goal he scored. The home game when we had you in, the last time we played you in League Two, the home game he scored 1 or 2 as well. I think that was on his debut, I believe, or his first goal for the club. So he's back. And Hunt hopefully will be back. I don't know if he's going to start or not. Obviously, literally in a few minutes, we're going to be giving our prediction as well. But yeah, keep hitting the like button. Keep liking. Like I said, go and subscribe to Liam's channel, Blue Army TV. Tom Butler saying most fans will be happy about Finley. Obviously, some people won't be. But yeah, a lot of people that I've seen that were at Reading were annoyed of how he's playing. But it's all thoughts and opinions. So and a lot of people saying they have a soft spot for Carlisle, but hope they do well apart from Saturday. And Chris Collar, even to you, be happy with a point Saturday. Also, would put Brown on the wing and move Collins just behind Martin. But yeah, we're going to get into our lineup predictions first. So we'll go with Neil first. Obviously, Liam will come to you in a minute. What lineup you would play, obviously, with the injury news, etc. And then we'll get on to score predictions. So let us know your lineup predictions in the comments. We're going to, like I said, we'll get on to score predictions in a minute. Keep hitting the like. Subscribe to Liam as well. Closing on 900 subscribers. So please do help him. But yeah, Neil, what formation and what lineup are you going to go with for the trip to Carlisle?
I think after what we've seen Tuesday, I think it does need freshening up a bit, and I think our best approach to go in, get a positive result in Carlisle is to try and play in their half, which means we have to go top heavy like we were in the start of the season. Just try and get our most influential front foot forward players playing in their half and being a little bit more vulnerable, just in front of our back four. But now we've got Wilson back. I think I know we didn't play great with the ball Tuesday, but for me, I just feel more secure with the Taylor and Wilson partnership at centre half. That's just the way I look at it and the way I feel as far as a preference. So I'd go with. Did he go off
injured though?
He went off, but it's precaution. It's just precaution. I think Mang's come out and said it's precaution. I don't think it's not going to set him out.
All right. Okay.
I think I'd go with Cox in the middle. In goal, sorry. I'll go with Cox in goal. Gibbo and Flash at fullback. I'd go Taylor and Wilson at centre half. Bogard sat in front of that to screen it. I'd go, and then we talk about going heavy at the top end of the pitch. I'd go Thomas to try and get an hour out of Thomas on one side, Harvey Bale on the other, Evans in the hole with John Marquis and Aaron Collins up top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, like you said, pretty attacking and stuff. Patrick Wells saying Cox, Hunt, Kramer, Taylor, Friend, Bogard, Evo, LT, Vel, Martin, and Collins. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I'll get to mine in a minute. What would yours be, Liam? What would your Carlisle starting 11 look like if you were picking it?
Thomas Hawley in nets, fairly easy one. Thin back's out injured, so I would say Jack Ellis out wide, but I think the manager will probably go with Ben Barkley. Then Mellish, who you mentioned earlier, he'll definitely be starting. Then it will be Sam Lavelle, our acting captain while Huntington's injured. Jack Armour coming back from a suspension on the left. Then to replace the injured Callum Guy, it could be anyone. Dylan McGeoch, if he's fit enough to start. I'll probably go with him. Owen Moxon, our star from last season, hasn't really picked up the form he showed last season, but a bit of quality is there, so he will be starting, I'd say. Alongside him, maybe Jordan Gibson starts in the midfield. You then go with Garner up front. In the center of that, and then either side, it could be anyone. It's genuinely. You talk about fan hope; it's a nightmare predicting Carlisle results this year. It could be Terry Ablade. It could be Sean Maguire will start. Sean Maguire is the attack, so I'd maybe go with Gibson in the midfield. Try something different and put Terry out wide, Garner through the middle, and then Maguire as the other winger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because he's the one that was at Coventry and Preston, wasn't he? Quite a fast player, that Sean Maguire. So
he is. Yeah, he just can't score, which is
well, watch Saturday, innit? He'll probably score Saturday. But yeah, my team, Cox in goal. I'd go Hunt right back. I think he'll be back. Hunt right back. I'd go James Wilson, Connor Taylor in centre half. Left back, it could be anyone really, because Friend, I don't think he'll be able to play two full 90s in a few days because he's just turned 36. So yeah, it could be Lewis Gordon, could be Grant. Saying that, Grant will probably. I mean, I'll just stick with Friend. Why not? Willie could start him and then take him off after 60. So I'll just say Friend. Yeah, midfield. In the midfield, I would play Bogard and Evans. And on the right would be Luke Thomas. On the left would be Vale. And Collins up front with Chris Martin or Collins just in behind. Matt Hall. Matt saying, does Matt Hall have any chance at bring the number one later in the season? I don't know. We'll have to see. And he hasn't even played 1 minute yet, has he? So for us, I don't know. Will he play on Tuesday in the what is it called? The Bristol Motor Trophy now? They changed the name, haven't they? The EFL Trophy. So will he play in that? I don't know.
Win that now, isn't it? It's written in the stars that you guys go out and win that trophy now. It's unfair naming, if you ask me. I think it's very biased from the old Papa John's trophy there, with having a team in the competition in the trophy name.
Yeah, it's pretty weird, isn't it? I don't know, but to be fair, we got to win. I think we only go through if we beat Newport on Tuesday. So yeah, we'll have to see. But yeah, we're gonna get on to our score predictions now. So do leave your score predictions in the comments. Obviously, if you're missing the live, then do leave your score predictions after. Keep hitting the like button as well, and keep hitting the subscribe button. We're gonna get on to our score predictions. So get them down in the comments below. I'm actually going to go with the away. No, the home side first this time. Usually I'll go nil first, but yeah, Liam, are you feeling confident? Saturday, what do you reckon the score will be, and what goal scorers are you going to go with for both teams?
I think we'll win. I do think we'll win because I think we're due one. With the performance we've been putting recently. I'm going to go with a crap, boring 1-0 win with Sean Maguire to score because he needs a goal.
Yeah, God. Yeah, I mean, it was 1-0 the last time we played there as well. So, yeah, hopefully not. But yeah, I wouldn't put it past you. Like you said, you've got, you don't concede many goals, and you've been fairly solid. You've actually done better than us in the last 5 games. A lot of people are ready for us. I've had 3 predictions so far in the comments, and no one's predicted us to win yet. So, yeah. Neil, what is your score prediction? Are you going to agree with the 3 Gasheads that have put their predictions so far with a draw, or are you thinking something else? And obviously, what are your goal scorers as well?
No, I think I'd agree with everything that's been said, to be honest. I think it will be a draw. That's what I'm looking at. I think it screams a draw, to be honest, this one. And I think it will be crap and boring as well. I can just see it. I just think it lends itself to be that way, doesn't it? We're going to go to Carlisle. They're not going to make it easy. It's not going to be pleasant. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a scrap. It's going to be a fight. The weather will probably be horrible. And I think, I do. I just think it will be 2 sides that battle out a 1-1.
Yeah. I don't know. It's What's your goal scorers for both teams?
I think Moxon could score for Carlisle, and maybe Sinclair off the bench for us.
Sinclair off the bench, yeah. I mean, that's even if he gets on. He didn't even get on last game, but
that's what I mean. Like,
yeah,
this squad needs freshening up somewhere along the line.
Yeah. I agree, especially after Tuesday night. We definitely freshen it up. But yeah, Ford on Blue in the comments saying this has got 1-0 Carlisle written all over it. Neil can drown his sorrows. Yeah, Neil will be off on holiday, so, and luckily, like he don't quote you tweeted before the game. Luckily enough, he's not there because
Mate, I can't wait to miss it.
Yeah. Like you said on the tweet, you can't wait to miss it. Yeah. Chris Collier is going 1-0 again. Mr. T Gaming 1-0 again. Matt saying 1-0. Tom Butler also saying 1-0. I don't know. It's tough, it's tough. I think our luck at Carlisle has got to change. So I'm going to say it will change. 3rd time lucky for me. So I'm gonna say we'll nick it 2-1. But I don't think I agree with what a lot of what you two have said. I don't think it is going to be the best of games. I think we'll probably. I actually think we'll go 1-0 up. Then you'll equalise. Then we'll get the winner. So. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. 3rd time lucky because I'm going 3rd trip up there. Hopefully we can finally, hopefully get our first win in 5 in going away. So yeah, I'll say Garner to score for you, and I'll say Harvey Vell and Aaron Collins to score for us. So yeah, I think we'll nick it. Just I think we'll nick it. Rob is saying also a win. Obviously, pretty much everyone else has said draw and a loss in there as well. But yeah, Rob's saying 1-0 Rovers, Harvey Vell. Matt saying I'm also tempted to say a 2-1 win as well. But yeah, that's what I've gone. Yeah. And yeah, Liam thinks it'll be 1-0. And Neil was going for a crappy, rainy, windy, poor game. But like you said, it's going to be interesting because, we talked at the start of the show. I think we're going to have 3 or 4 away games now in a row, including the cup competitions as well, like FA Cup. Obviously, we're still in that, and Newport. But that's not really good because I pointed out our away record this season with only 2 wins in 8. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that's what we've all gone for. I'm pretty much going to end it now. Just been going an hour and 5 minutes. So yeah, appreciate everyone that has tuned in. Like I said, if you've missed any parts, then you can go back and watch. But do hit the like button if you haven't already. If we can get over 40, over 50 likes, that would be brilliant. It does help out the channel massively. Do subscribe if you're new. Make sure you go and subscribe to Liam's channel, Blue Army TV. Thanks again for Neil for coming on. Thanks to Liam for coming on. There will be a video out after the game. I'll get it out straight after the game. So hopefully it's going to be a positive one, talking about a win and not a draw or a loss like I've done the last 2 times up there. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Hit the like. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Up the gas.